Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gets together. We'll see what kind of controversies they get into, but between now and then, some great guests and important information coming your way. We'll talk about designing a care plan for seniors. That's very important. We'll tell you why sabbaticals can be very, very important for leaders of nonprofit organizations, and we'll meet the owner of Woods of Terror, who does a lot for the community, by the way, other than just scaring them. But all that and much more. We're going to start out, though, talking about a big event that's coming up that's going to help a lot of people. And we have two experts with us that are going to tell us all about that event. On my immediate right, Elaine Sill is Retention and Career Services Specialist with Randolph Community College. Welcome. Good to see you, Elaine. And a returning visitor, we're always glad to have him back here, Daniel Ferguson, is Workforce Development Innovation for Randolph Community College. Good to see you again.
Glad to be back.
Daniel, I'm going to start with you. Now, Randolph Community College is hosting a big event next month. What is it, and what is the objective of it?
So this is the Career and Transfer Fair, and we're really excited about it. It's going to give people the opportunity to meet with potential employers who are looking for those to fill positions in various career areas in the county. So
what can you expect to see when they walk into this thing? What are they going to see?
So they're going to see the employers around. They're going to have tables set up where they can talk and foster relationships and begin those networking opportunities. So.
Elaine, who should attend this career fair, really?
Well, we're targeting, of course, our students and alumni, but additionally community members in the Randolph County and surrounding areas. We'll have employers from Randolph County and surrounding areas.
And since employers are going to be there, do you have any advice for folks that are going to show up? I mean, should they dress a certain way? Or I mean, what advice do you have for them?
Absolutely. First of all, we recommend that they visit randolph.edu/career fair. They can pre-register for the career fair, and they can see the employers that are going to be attending.
Right.
They can also see information about some workshops that we're going to be offering to help them.
I was going to ask you all about that. That you have these classes, Daniel, that people can attend actually before the fair, which I think are on the 15th and 16th, so it's 2 days before the fair. Now is there a fee for going to the classes?
So no, there's no fee to go to the class. You just need to register on the spot. They're going to be really fun classes, but also very informative classes on how to dress for success, interviewing skills, and building your resume.
Yeah, because Elaine, you're going to get, when you talk about these employers being there, it's not like you're just going to pick up brochures. If I'm going in there and I would like to have a career with some of these people, maybe it's not a full interview, but you got to impress them, right?
Exactly.
You're going to talk to them.
They'll learn how to prepare an elevator speech, what we call an elevator speech, so that they can put their best foot forward. The career fair page also has the employers, some of their logos. They can click and go directly to their websites. So it would be a good idea for them to learn a little bit more about the employer before they come.
Absolutely. Before time gets away from us, I want to do some, Elaine mentioned it, but let's put up on screen the Career and Transfer Fair. Thursday, October 17th, 1 to 5 p.m. at the Corporate Training Center at Randolph Community College. That's on the Ashboro campus. If you want to register, you can go to www.randolph.edu/career fair. I'll say it again for the radio listening audience, randolph.edu/career fair. What's your expectations, Daniel, in terms of how you think this is going to go and how it can help people?
Well, I think this is going to help put RCC in the center and the focus of a place where you can, get a career, have the opportunity to change your life. So,
absolutely.
Really
and you
excited.
Agree. You're shaking your head. Yeah, you agree with that.
We're all about creating opportunities and changing lives, and we just hope this will be an event. It's going to occur every fall going forward. So we hope it'll be an event that everybody in the community will look forward to.
Yeah, and one cool thing that we're trying to do for those who pre-register, they actually will get, the first 50 people will get a customized RCC lanyard.
Wow.
So we're really excited to give that out and hope that people are really excited to
That'll
register.
be great. Well, I appreciate what y'all are doing. I think it's a great thing, and it's going to help get people employed and get them in front of employers. And also a shout out to, thanks to those employers too.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can see that on the website. You can see, as Elaine said, the logos and the names of the employees. We didn't have time to say all of them or any of them, but please check that out and see who they are. To Elaine and Daniel, thanks for everything you do.
Thank you so much for having us.
We'll be right back. Triad Today, always glad when we can stop by and have a little visit with some of the good folks at Ridge Care and family of some great assisted living and memory care living facilities. And We have a very special guest with us right now, and she's going to talk to us about something called an individualized care plan. She is Breanne Brackett, and she's also, you're a nurse too, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, and Breanne's a nurse, and she's also executive director of Walnut Ridge Assisted Living and Memory Care in the Ridge Care family. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, now I've heard on this email you sent me, you said you want to talk about individualized care plan for seniors. What do you mean?
Yes, sir. So we are able to do individualized care plans that are collaborative with the RN, the wellness director, a healthcare provider. We also include the individual that it's about as well as their family, so that we can look on their specific needs instead
Bringing
of just
everybody
giving
into it.
a cookie cutter
Yeah,
effect.
yeah, but I think you did mention that to me off camera too, that it just doesn't help anybody. And I've been in a position when my parents were still alive where we were looking for some places, and you don't want to put somebody somewhere and have them be a resident of a, as you said, as a cookie cutter thing. You want them to meet the needs. I want to go down a list that you sent me, and
Yes,
I'm going to
sir.
throw some terms out to you because you said that these are elements of what a good individualized care plan should include, or at least should address.
Absolutely.
First one is wellness checks. What do you mean?
So wellness checks can look different for different, just like we just said, they're individualized. So a wellness check could be, we're checking on you because maybe you have frequent falls. So we're checking for your safety, that you have everything in place, that we're assessing your room, making sure you haven't dropped anything. There's no reason that we can see why you would
Right.
have a fall.
Absolutely. Pharmacy consultations.
So there are times whenever polypharmacy is a real thing in the geriatric population. Sometimes we take a medication and its side effect causes something else. So we can have pharmacy consults or reviews to look at those things and make sure that we're not making things worse instead of better.
Right. Now, dietary needs.
So one of the biggest things with dietary needs is we can customize diets to meet individual needs, but also we're looking at the benefits that a resident or your loved one would get from coming to stay with us, that they're not having to cook 3 meals a day.
Absolutely.
And they're getting full round meals, 3 meals and 3
Getting some
snacks
good
every
nutrition
day.
that guaranteed instead of
Absolutely.
just wondering, I wonder what mom is eating today. Housekeeping needs.
Again, one of the benefits that our residents get whenever they come to stay with us is that we are able to help with basic housekeeping needs. We kind of tell people that you get all the benefits of staying at home, but you don't have to do any of the work anymore.
Yeah, well, that's good, yeah.
We
And-
do a basic tidy every day and then a deep clean every week.
And then finally, you mentioned something to me earlier about social needs.
Right. Again, there are social needs that come. Basically, if you are, as a resident, if you come and stay with us, if those who participate in our activities, who come to dining in the restaurant style meals or go out and get to meet others, they tend to do much better. They're, as a whole, they're less
I want them to
depressed.
socialize. It's really good for them too, and keeps their spirits up and everything. So I guess the first step is that somebody should call, and you don't have to have a doctor referral necessarily. Just call to
Absolutely.
find out information.
Exactly. You can always call or visit the ridgecare.com website. Again, there are multiple communities. You can see any of the communities on there, and the links will give you the phone number to the right location.
And since you mentioned it, www.ridgecare.com, we have just a few seconds left. As a nurse, that sort of gives you an advantage, a little leg up in understanding how to help people, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, my background in critical care has absolutely helped make the right decisions with
I
our
can tell
residents.
that. You're a great nurse.
Thank
and
you.
A great administrator. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this. On Triad Today, it's been a while since we've had this guest in studio. We're so glad to have her back because she does such great work, she and all the team at the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation, Mo Green and everybody. But next to us, the very lovely and talented and hardworking Shaheen Sial. She's Director of Communications for Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation. Welcome back.
Thank you, Tim.
Let's remind folks, just in case they don't know, what the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation does and what your mission is.
Sure. Well, the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation is a statewide private family foundation. We've been around since 1936, and the mission is to improve the quality of life for all North Carolinians.
Right, and that mission sort of expanded and changed a little bit after Mo did his listening tour across the state, where you're really putting a focus on trying to strengthen communities and improve quality of life. And I just think what you're doing is great. Now, you sent me some information a few weeks ago and said that you wanted to talk about the sabbatical program.
Yes.
Now, I kind of know what that is from talking to preachers and priests who have taken sabbaticals. I'm not entirely stupid, maybe partly. But what does this mean in terms of what you at the foundation do? What is a sabbatical program and who is it designed for?
Absolutely. So sometimes the most creative, inspirational nonprofit leaders who have been in the field, in the sector for quite a while, just get burned out. And in order for them to come back to the sector with renewed energy and newfound momentum, the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation offers sabbaticals for 3 to 6 months for veteran nonprofit leaders to take time away and to do nothing that is related to work.
Wow.
Yes.
That does sound refreshing, but let me ask the big question people might be thinking about at home. Hey, Shaheen, do we get paid? I mean, do you get paid when you're on a sabbatical? Is there compensation while you're away?
Yes, and the wonderful thing about the sabbatical program is award winners, and the foundation awards up to 5 sabbaticals every other year. Sabbatical recipients are compensated $30,000 to take this time away. In addition to that, the foundation offers $10,000 to their organization for transition expenses and to help as the leader takes this time away from the organization.
Now, I know you said leaders of nonprofit. Who is eligible and how are the recipients selected? Because that's a pretty select group when you say 5 people selected every other year. How are they selected?
So basically those who are eligible are individuals who are in paid full-time executive leadership positions. Preference is given to those who have been at their organizations for more than 5 years. And there's some folks who are considered more so than others, but we really recommend that folks go to our website and check out our list of eligibility as well.
We're going to give that just a second. Let me. We didn't rehearse this, but I do have a question for you. I was thinking about just now, and I'll put you on the spot.
Okay.
Which is, do you have any feedback or any sense about how this program, the sabbatical program, might have made a difference for some of the people that have gone through it? Do you have any sense on that?
Absolutely, yes. And actually, Jim, as we enter our 30th year, so 2020 will be year 30 for the sabbatical program.
Wow.
We've heard wonderful testimonials about folks who have gone through the program who have said that it was because of this sabbatical that allowed them time to really renew and refresh and come back to this sector with excitement and enthusiasm. And the hope is that they're going to stay for another 30 plus more years.
Stay in the community, do great things as they've been doing, but
Yes.
maybe they're getting a little burned out. They get awarded the sabbatical, and they come back, as you said, refreshed and able to really serve the populations that they need to serve, of people who are at need and need their services. So it's a win-win all the way around. I want to put up a website, and while we're looking at this, I want you to tell me in just a second if it's okay to apply now. But the website, zsr.org/grants-programs/sabbatical-program. Go to that, please, if you would. It gives all the information. Now, is it too late? I've just put that up on screen. Can somebody apply now?
Yes, and so absolutely. We are actually accepting applications for the sabbatical right now until October 30th of this year. So we encourage those who are eligible and who need a break to apply.
What a great program. Well, let me know how it turns out this year.
Will do.
Shaheen, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Jim.
Tell
It's
everybody
great to
hello
see you.
for
I
me.
will. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. Screen, I believe it's up on screen. There's a frightening image of Bone Daddy, who has his snake and all that. And he's out there at Woods of Terror all the time. But not so frightening is the real Bone Daddy sitting there. Let's get a shot out here in the studio. Laurie Bates, our director, there. See, he looks normal now. Do we have a close-up of it? Let's see a close-up of it. See, he looks normal. Well, sort of. But you got your hair sort of prepped for your Bone Daddy costume, though, right? Eddie McLaurin, owner of McLaurin Farms, also known as the home of Woods of Terror and many other things. How many years is this for Woods of Terror?
28.
Wow, 28.
28 years. I don't look that old, I know.
No, you're about 13, I think, when you started it when you were 10. For folks who, all right, here's a good question for you. For folks that went to Woods of Terror last year, let's say, we had a great time. Then what if they say to you, hey, Eddie, we went last year, so is there anything new? I mean, is there any reason for us to go?
There's always a good reason to come to Woods of Terror. First off, a lot of these people have their hoods on and they're like this, so they didn't even see what I put up. So now they get to see all the stuff I put up last year and all the new stuff I did this year.
And there are some neat things. Now, can you tell us, I know you just opened recently, I think on September 20th. Can you tell us like an example of something new brand new out there? Or?
Yeah, well, down at my my Calypso house, the pirate section, I did this big covered bridge, and I put up all this decorating, and I put little fireflies in there, and it's little lights, looks like fireflies at night.
Looks cool in the dark.
And that's just one of the many things we upgraded this year.
And these actors are scary. I've been out there when they're getting made up, and even though I know they're just actors, and they'll turn around once they finish, and they'll scare me to death. And which brings me to something. You really contribute a lot to the economy, the local economy during the season, and up to and including the fact that you have a lot of employees. Now, how many people total do you employ during the season?
We run about 175 to 180 employees, and we always try to run 100 actors, so we've got quite a big staff.
But you work year-round, and we'll get to that in just a second because there's other things coming up. But speaking of Halloween, there's something called Tiny Taste of Terror that you sent me an email about. What is that?
That's going to be on October the 15th, and what we're trying to do is a lot of people ask about, can we bring the kids to Woods of Terror, and really you shouldn't. 13 and under probably shouldn't come. We don't want the kids to have nightmares. So what we do is we're having a second year for our pumpkin patch, and we're going to have a lot of little games out there, and we got vendors that are coming out and giving the kids candy. So it's a safe environment if you want to get some candy, like a trunk or treat or something.
Good, good. And then they get it's a pleasant, non-scary introduction for the young children to Woods of Terror. So as they get older, they'll know where it is and they'll want to come. Now, speaking of that, don't you do school tours or something out there?
Yep, this year I bought a little flyer with me. I don't know if you can see it, but I bought this, and it's at McLaurin Farms. We're doing farm tours this year. And along with the farm tours, we got the pumpkin patch, a petting zoo, big playground. We got archaeological dig, so we got all kinds of things.
Now, is that ongoing? When does that happen? November or?
We're going to do that from September 15th through October 31st, and that is reservation only. So you'll have to call McLaurin Farms and reserve.
But is that stuff on the website too?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll get to that in just a second. But the other thing is, also later in the year, you have your holiday light show. You're going to do that again?
Yep. Well, this Christmas we'll be open more nights, and we'll have we go from scary to merry. So a lot of people say you have a scary Christmas. I'm like, no, we have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. All right, before we run out of time, I want to put this up on screen. www.woodsofterror.com. Woodsofterror.com for the radio listening audience. It's out on Church Street, and I really hope people will do this. You've been at this so many years. You did 28 years, but you love it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's a passion. I love it. That's what I was born to do.
Yeah, and it's a year-round passion for you, and it shows in what you do, not only in putting on the scary show for older kids and adults, but for what you do in the community with the school groups and others. I just think it's great, and I appreciate it. And I know you got to get back and get ready. But is there any other thing you want to tell people, like if they go to the website, will there be information about parking and ticket prices and stuff?
Yep, everything's on the website. And of course, if you have any questions, just email us at woodsofterror.com.
Now, you're going to go until what date this year?
We're actually going to go to November the 2nd. So November the 1st and the 2nd, we have an event called Terror in the Darkness.
Wow.
So it's Woods of Terror with 90% of the lights cut out. So that's November 1st and 2nd.
That's really scary.
Yeah, so it's even scarier.
I thought it would close at Halloween. Now you're going to scare people after Halloween.
Yeah, we got to get a couple extra days in there.
Wow, that's good. And then you're going to turn all the lights off.
Yeah.
It could be romantic. I guess my wife and I could go.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. She might scare you.
She is scary. All right, Eddie McLaurin, thanks for coming. Good luck for another big season.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
I appreciate it.
All right, thanks for bringing the pumpkin.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable. Hope you will pick up your copy of Yes Weekly. It's free and it is just about everywhere, so please do that. And now to introduce our gang, our roundtable next to me on my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. And for the first time on the roundtable, we have a special guest today. Sonny Gravely is, among other things, the executive director of the Tab Art Center in Greensboro, a great artist, does all sorts of art, and we welcome you to the program, Sonny. And let's hear it.
Sonny.
Good to have you.
Yes.
Really into
Beauty
art.
to the set.
And Keith Granberry, who, by the way, said behind your back he doesn't like art.
I knew it.
Keith Granberry,
Never fails.
founder of Helping Hands Consultants. All right, guys, let's start out with something serious. I think it's serious. Back in June now, think about this. Back in June, Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO Patrick Conway was arrested for DUI, and because he had his children in the car with him, he was also charged with child abuse. The Blue Cross board waited to say anything until last week, 3 months later, then praised the man and said they were going to keep him on as CEO. Ogie, should he be fired? Should he have been fired? And what does it tell you about the Blue Cross board?
They didn't even give him a slap on the wrist. I mean, they praised him. It tells me that the board is a lot like Trump's cabinet, a bunch of compliant lapdogs.
Well, I don't know. It's something's going on there. The insurance commissioner of the state wants him gone, which is interesting.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Sonny.
I really think he should have resigned. That would have made sense to me, especially to make such a huge mistake like that. But the fact that they didn't take that seriously, that's very troubling.
And of course, they claim it did, but this insurance commissioner agrees with you, Sonny, said they didn't take it seriously. Keith, any thoughts?
The bottom line is that if you are a CEO that's bringing a profit to a company, they don't want to let you go.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line. And so they're not going to terminate someone who's bringing billions of dollars to the shareholders. They're just not going to do it.
Ironic that he's in charge of a healthcare organization and he put his own health and his children's health at risk. Ironic. Last week, Forsyth County District Attorney Jim O'Neill said he supports legalizing medical marijuana. Does his support put North Carolina any closer to legalizing pot for medical use, Mr. Overman?
Well, I think it's just a matter of time anyway. I mean, I'm glad he did. He's not really in a position of power, but he's kind of an influencer of public opinion, so yeah, it may help some.
Might a little bit. Sonny?
I think it's time for North Carolina to jump on board. I mean, so many other places in the United States are legalizing marijuana and they're profiting from it, so why not?
Yeah, we might as well. Keith?
Yeah.
I mean, North Carolina is a tobacco state. So it's a clear transaction between tobacco and marijuana. They're making billions of dollars off of tobacco, and we know what that does.
Yeah.
And now marijuana. So it's only a matter of time. Absolutely.
All right, this is a complicated one. The UNC board now says it wants to strengthen recruiting efforts by offering bonuses to chancellors of, quote, high-performing universities. They also want to give 8 weeks of parental leave to instructors. Guys and gals, first, is the bonus system fair to chancellors of smaller universities? Ogie?
I think you can be a high-performing chancellor of I don't think size has a whole lot to do with it. And I don't have a problem if you're going to try to attract the best of the best. That's a nice perk that people are going to be looking for.
All right, Sonny, you've been a professor over at A&T, sometimes doing art classes. What do you think?
I do think giving an extra incentive is fantastic. I would have to see really kind of the details of it all, whether or not to say a smaller university would be affected as opposed to a larger university, but I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, so you're saying as long as it's not some kind of quantitative measurement on there. All right.
Exactly.
I think there should be a system where the smaller universities, they give them a bonus to go into these smaller universities to build them up. So sort of like underperforming high schools, teachers should be given a bonus to go there. I think chancellors and presidents should be a bonus to go there and really help these schools.
Last week, just days before Bernie Sanders spoke in Greensboro, former President Jimmy Carter said that 80 years old is too old to serve as commander-in-chief. If elected, both Sanders and Joe Biden would be over 80 in their first term. So, guys and gals, do you believe 80 years old is too old to serve as president? And should we have age limits for presidential candidates? Ogie?
Well, if Uncle Joe or Bernie is the nominee, I would say no, 80's fine. If not, I would say yes, probably.
Well,
How's that? How's that for wishy-washy?
You're partisan. Sonny, what do you think? Is 80 too old?
I mean, I think that it's really about the experience and the knowledge that the person brings, and that the voter should decide whether or not someone is too old or too young. So, well, actually too old. But I don't believe that 80 is too old.
So if it was Biden or Sanders, should they pick a young running mate, you think?
I think that would be good. Yeah,
just in case.
Yeah,
Keith?
to balance that.
I think it depends on the health of the individual. I mean, there's some very healthy 80-year-olds with sharp mind. My grandmother, as you know, is 92 years old, very sharp.
Very smart.
So I don't think there should be an age limit, and I think they should pick the best vice president instead of picking one that depending on age. They should pick someone that can, if something happens to them, they can run the country.
All right, how much time we have, Brian? 1 minute. All right. Well, let's just do this last one here. I think this is really important. A man in England got tired of his wife eating his snacks in his refrigerator, so he put a locking device on the refrigerator. My question to you guys and gals, have you ever kept or hidden food from a loved one? Ogie Overman.
Yeah, that's a really important one, Jim. I tell you.
Well, it's a family question.
That's to the right. I used to have a beer fridge years ago, and I had to lock it all my buddies would come over and drink my beer. I had to put a lock on my beer fridge.
There you go.
Since then, I haven't.
Sonny?
Okay, I think that hiding food is wrong. Okay, when you love someone, you should share everything.
Share everything.
Especially food.
Keith, have you ever hidden anything from a loved one? I mean food. And we know you hide a lot of things.
No, we do not know that.
No.
Do not get me. No, we do not know that, Jim. We do not know that. Okay.
Food.
I would say no. I'm a very sharing and caring person, so I would never hide food from anyone, including Sonny. Never hide food from Sonny.
Keith, the art lover.
That's exactly right.
All
I
right.
love art.
Well, that's Sonny. Thanks for doing this. Glad to have you. Hope you'll come back sometime.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Costco is now selling a 72-pound cheese wheel for $900. Folks who buy the 72 pounds of cheese can also save money by buying a 100-pound box of X-Lax. It's all at Costco. Cheese has a. All right. Well, anyway, I'll be leaving after this. All right. We'll see you next week.